Hey guys, it's Kelsey aka Cats on Camera, and today I'm doing the No Disclaimers book tag. I was tagged in this a couple of days ago by Nicole over at Beautiful Chaos of Books, so I'll leave her video down below, definitely check that out. The original one doesn't even exist anymore, so can't link that, but definitely check out Nicole's video. So question 1 is, which tropes in a book annoy you the most? I do have a whole video about bookish pet peeves and tropes and type things that we'll leave there. But the two that annoy me the most are miscommunication and convenient antagonists. So miscommunication, when there's just loads of drama for no reason, when a character could just say one sentence to another character and it will all be fine and dandy, but instead they just don't say it for no reason, and then there's loads of drama and people think things and other people think other things, and it could literally all just be cleared up by one person saying a sentence. It's annoying. It's not necessary. It's overdone. Thanks. Let's not do that anymore. And the second one, by convenient antagonist, I mean when a group of people or a person, obviously most of the time it's in some sort of fantasy or sci-fi, when there is an antagonist. A hero could be in the middle of a field somewhere where nobody knows where they are, with no technology on them, so they can't have been tracked, and then all of a sudden the baddie turns up. And they don't say or explain how they know where they are. It's annoying and it's sloppy. Number 2 is, which writer or writers do you think are overrated or overhyped? In Nicole's video she mentioned John Green. I think everybody knows John Green's a bit overhyped. I guess I also kind of think David Levithan's a bit overrated. His books are okay, they're definitely not my favourite. He's like a solid 3-star read for me. But people seem to really like Two Boys Kissing and Boy Meets Boy. And Every Day. And that was kind of the overrated one. For the overhyped, I think Cassandra Clare is overhyped. Don't get me wrong, I read all of her books, I enjoy them, but she's definitely overhyped on BookTube. People talk about her like she's the best fantasy writer ever that can do no wrong and all the books are perfect, but there's not. There's a lot of just shitty writing and not great development because all the characters are the same in every story. The boy is always the same in every series, apart from Jem. But yeah, I like Cassandra Clare, but she's definitely overhyped on BookTube. Question 3 are, what are your least favourite books you've read since joining BookTube? Now personally, I'm pretty good at not just picking books up because people talk about them on here. I've never given out a 1-star on Goodreads, for example. But obviously there are a few books that I've read that weren't the best. Forgive Me Leonard Peacock by Matthew Quick. I haven't talked about this in a hot minute, but there was a while there where I mentioned this book several times about how much I didn't like it. But I feel like this isn't something that people talk about on BookTube anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's not like I found this on BookTube through all people's channels and then I read it and didn't like it. So for more of an all-rounded loved one, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. I gave 2 stars. I just thought Alice was really annoying and I couldn't handle it. I know she's a kid, but she's annoying and shut up, basically. I really like the concept. I love the whole aesthetic of Alice in Wonderland, but the actual book wasn't the best for me. Question 4 is a terrible ending that ruined an otherwise quality book. I wouldn't necessarily say an otherwise quality book, but definitely this book and the ending was a total letdown after this. A Caught Missing Fury was my favourite of this series. Really great book. And then A Court of Wings of Ruin came along and kind of ruined it. Pretties and Specials is pretty much exactly the same storyline. It just feels very unnecessary to have done Specials after Pretties. It's just like the first half of the book is exactly the same, just rehashed, and it was unnecessary. But I will go with another one that kind of fulfills the actual question a bit better, and that's Solitaire by Alice Oseman. I really enjoy Alice Oseman. This is the first book she brought out, which is probably why I had a bit of teething problems. It's not the best. It's definitely my least favourite Alice Oseman book, but I feel like she gets better every time she brings another one out. But with this one, I was enjoying it, but the ending just felt like it jumped the shark a bit, and it was just... I felt like it was really based in reality the rest of the book, and then something happened and I just felt like it wasn't necessary. It was over the top. There was actually a point in the book where this thing sort of failed to happen, and I thought that was a great ending. I thought that is amazing that she's gone there, but then afterwards it did happen. If you've read this book you'll know what I mean. and I felt like it would have been cooler if it did that not happening thing. So question 5 is, which fictional character do you wish were not killed off? Personally for me, most of the time, 99% of the time, I think it's kind of, even if it breaks your heart and makes you cry and destroys your life, I wouldn't want to bring certain characters back because I feel like that's the whole point of the story and it happened and it was necessary for the story or whatever. I'm really good with my soul being destroyed and accepting that, but there is one. I won't say who the character is. If you read this book, you'll know, but I was so annoyed. I kind of almost didn't want to carry on the story because I was like, really? Really? You're gonna kill off the best character? Go away. So question 6 is, what are some of your bookish pet peeves? Obviously I mentioned in the first question about my bookish pet peeves video, but in terms of the actual book itself, I don't really have many. I don't really care about books not matching or different heights or different covers, all that business. But there is one thing that does annoy me the most, and that is synopsises that either tell you too much information or give you the wrong sort of information going in. So for example, The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, the synopsis makes it sound like it's going to be some sort of paranormal romance. It's all about the true love's kiss and killing your true love with a kiss, and that is so not what this book is about. And I feel like people could probably go into this book expecting it to be a romancy book, no romance happening, and then them not enjoying the series. And on the other side of that, I can see people not picking this book up because they think that it's just going to be another romance series, and then missing out on how amazing this is and how great the friendships are and how brilliant the characterization is. So that synopsis is annoying. I'm wrong. And one that does both for this, too much information and the wrong sort of information, is We Disappear by Scott Haim. If you follow me on Goodreads, you would have seen that I recently reviewed this. I didn't enjoy it that much because I was in the wrong mood to read it. The synopsis makes it sound like it's going to be a thriller, a bit creepy. It's about kids that are missing and uncovering a secret. And then it also says in the synopsis that Scott finds this boy chained up in his mum's basement that could have something to do with all this. First of all, that doesn't happen until literally halfway through this book, because I looked at the page count. Literally halfway through we find the boy in the basement, so I feel like that's too much information. And also, it's not creepy or thrilling or interested in that way. It's more of a family drama about him and his mum and him looking after her while she dies of cancer. Obviously it does have a sort of missing kids aspect in it, but it definitely was not how it's portrayed in the synopsis. So it's just like, what's the point of lying in your synopsis? It's just going to make me not enjoy it because I was expecting something else. So question 7 is, what are some books that you feel should have more recognition? First of all, Darren Shan. I love Darren Shan. Darren Shan was my childhood. He's brought out some amazing series and I feel like nobody ever talks about him on BookTube. I've literally, the only person I've ever heard talk about Darren Shan is Ali from The Hardback Holder. I also feel like the Openly Straight Honestly Ben duology definitely needs more recognition on BookTube. I don't know how certain books in this genre, like Ari and Dante or Simon vs. Homo Sapiens Agenda, get massive on BookTube and everybody reads them, and then other series or books don't, because this is great and hardly anyone talks about it. And you should read this as well if you like them books. So question 8 is, what are your thoughts on censorship and banning books? But I don't really have a strong opinion because it's something that doesn't really affect me. I can't remember ever not being able to read a book or a book not being available because it's being banned. I think it's more a prevalent thing in America, where each state, they can do whatever the crap they want and they can ban books and schools can ban books or whatever. But I feel like it doesn't really happen that often over here. But yeah, I just feel like it's unnecessary and people should be able to read what they want. And just because a book's talking about a subject that either you don't want people to know about or that you feel is wrong, doesn't mean that they shouldn't be able to read it and make their own mind up and make their own decisions up about it. So yeah, schools and governments and those sort of things shouldn't be able to make a decision for the people of what they can and can't read. And question 9 is, who do you tag? And I don't know who's done this. It's quite an old tag. It's been around for like over a year. So if you haven't done it, do it. If you have, don't. So yeah, let me know any of your answers for any of these questions down below. If you agreed with any of mine, if you want to check out some of the books that I said are underhyped, do so. If this is your first video by me and you enjoy it, then please check out some of my others. And if you continue to enjoy it, then please subscribe. That'd be awesome. Anyway guys, I will see you in a few days with another video. Bye.